In the golden era of hip-hop hustle, few names shined brighter or burned faster than Damon Dash. From Harlem's hustle to Hollywood dreams, Dame built an empire alongside Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke. Roc-A-Fella Records wasn't just a label, it was a movement. But behind the bravado, the bottle popping, and the big talk was a man fighting for respect in an industry that never fully embraced him. This is the story of the rise and fall of Damon Dash, the mogul who taught hip-hop how to own the game before the game turned on him. Damon Dash grew up in Harlem, New York during the crack era when street smarts meant survival. He wasn't born into money, but he learned early how to make it. Dame sold newspapers, swept barbershops, and hustled clothes, anything to flip a dollar. In his own words, "I learned business on the block before I ever learned it in a boardroom." That mindset would become his greatest weapon and his downfall. By the early 90s, he was managing acts like Original Flavor and Jay-Z, two hungry young artists trying to break into a system that didn't want them. When major labels wouldn't sign Jay-Z, Dame Dash took it personal. So, with Kareem Biggs Burke, they created Roc-A-Fella Records in 1995. It was hip-hop independence before independence was cool. Dame's hustle turned Rocafela into a brand selling lifestyle as much as music. He pushed Jay's debut Reasonable Doubt with pure street promotion, cars wrapped in logos, parties in Manhattan lofts, relentless word of mouth. And when the album dropped, everything changed. Jay-Z became a star, Dame became the mouthpiece, and Rocafela became the label everyone wanted to be part of. By the late 90s, The Roc wasn't just a label, it was a movement. Artists like Beanie Sigel, Cam'ron, Freeway, and Kanye West were all under the Rocafela umbrella. And at the center of it all, Damon Dash. Loud, confident, unapologetic. Dame Dash wasn't just talking about ownership, he was living it. He launched Roc-A-Wear, a clothing line that turned hip-hop style into a billion-dollar industry. He co-founded Armadale Vodka, bought into films, fashion, and media long before rappers had LLCs in their bios. He wanted artists to think like CEOs, not employees. In a famous quote, Dame said, "I don't work for nobody, I'm my own boss." And for a while, it worked. Dame was hosting fashion shows in Milan, shooting movies like Paid in Full, and living like hip-hop royalty. But behind the scenes, tension was growing. By 2003, cracks began to show. Jay-Z wanted a quieter, more strategic approach to business. Dame wanted to keep pushing boundaries and calling shots. Their visions clashed. When Roc-A-Fella partnered with Def Jam, Jay took a role as president, leaving Dame out of the decision. It was the ultimate betrayal in Dame's eyes. What followed was one of hip-hop's most public breakups. The Roc was split, artists chose sides, and just like that, the dynasty Dame helped build began to crumble. Jay went on to become a billionaire icon. Dame went from boardrooms to battling lawsuits, losing assets, and watching his name get dragged through the mud. The media painted him as the angry one, the loud one, the problem. But the truth was more complicated. After the split, Dame's empire unraveled fast. Roc-A-Wear was sold, his movie ventures struggled, and his lavish lifestyle caught up with him. He faced foreclosure, lawsuits, and IRS debts. By the late 2000s, the mogul who once shouted, "I'm the boss," was fighting to keep his name out of headlines. But through it all, Dame never stopped talking about ownership. He refused to play the victim, even when the industry shut its doors. In one interview, he said, "They call me crazy because I won't let another man tell me what to do." Fast forward to today, Damon Dash might not have the millions he once flaunted, but his mindset never changed. He launched Dame Dash Studios, creating independent films, talk shows, and platforms for creators. He mentors young entrepreneurs, preaching the same message he always believed in: own your culture, own your art, own yourself. The industry might have moved on, but Dame Dash remains one of hip-hop's most important thinkers. A man who showed a generation that you don't need validation from the system to be great. The rise and fall of Damon Dash isn't just a story about fame and money. It's a story about vision, loyalty, and the cost of independence. He was the voice behind a movement that taught hip-hop to think bigger. And even after losing it all, he still stands on his message. "I'm a boss because I create, not because they say I am." This was the rise and fall of Damon Dash. The hustler, the visionary, and the rebel who built the Roc.